And what I think is so wonderful about it is that a lot of people think they could create themselves, in an isolated place, just in their home. But when you bring in community, whatever goal you have is now supported by 20 other people. You can't help but reach your goals and your visions when you have someone that keeps you accountable and people who care.
Yes.
Not just a virtual person or hiring someone to want to be there for you. These are people who aren't being paid to be on your team. They're people who are saying, I'm choosing this.
Well, and like I said, because I did experience such horrible things with groups of women. I hated groups of women because of this. This was one of many experiences with groups of women where I was like, why are you all hating on me now? Like, what is all of this? And it, just through the turn of events, that is part of why I ended up creating a women's group where it was, the fundamentals is support. It is a different paradigm than what we are taught.
Yes.
It is a sisterhood. And not to say that competition isn't a good thing, because I do think healthy competition is a good thing, but to help each other.
Yes.
It's like when you're on a sports team, I'm going to run fast and maybe you won't beat me, but at the end of the day, we're excited that we're pushing each other.
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't need to trip you in order to try and win.
And it doesn't matter if you support someone, that doesn't mean you're less than because they got something or they're doing something that maybe even you strive to do. It's like, great, now I have a role model.
Right, and you're like, tell me, let's tell each other. How can we all do better and do bigger? Our world is in such a state.
Yes.
We all need to be doing, those of us who are blessed enough to have opportunities, in my opinion, need to be doing our best so that we can help fix this world of ours.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So how did you become an actress? Why did you want to be an actress? How did that come about?
So when I was in middle school, I auditioned for all the middle school plays. And I was so shy. And so I remember you had to audition in front of everybody, and I would read the pages, and I would just I couldn't even read past the page. And I didn't make any of the middle school plays, which that's probably really hard to do, right?
Yes. I don't know.
I mean, come on, it wasn't competitive. It wasn't like I wasn't at the Juilliard of middle schools of acting or performance school or anything. But I always knew I wanted to, but I always felt so stifled. And it wasn't until this incident that I had in the middle school to high school, and I remember after I kind of gone through the awareness of oh no, there's a different path for me, that I remember being with my mom driving, and I said, Mom, I want to be an actress. Now mind you, I never made any of the middle school plays. I'm just going to point that out. And she said, okay. She's driving. Okay, why is that? And I said, because actors can be more powerful than politicians.
Mm-hmm. True.
And I knew that at 14. And then I started calling agencies, looking through the yellow pages. And I found representation that way. At 14, my parents were like, all right, we'll drive you downtown.
What state was this?
Minnesota.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's ambitious.
It was ambitious, and I didn't know, and then I started auditioning. And yet, while having this crazy confidence to pursue this,
again, after not getting in
plays.
After
never getting in plays.
I'm going to do this.
I'm it was one of those, I don't know, but I'm just looking through the yellow pages. And then other people actually encouraged me to audition for the high school play. And we had actually a very good performing arts program. A lot of people went on to Broadway and conservatories and whatnot. And I was hesitant, but I had a couple of teachers really encourage me to do it, and I did. And then I got in the program and in that show, and then that was it. And then I ended up getting representation through Minnesota, and they brought me out to Los Angeles.
That brought you out here?
They brought me out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And when you say they brought you out, did that mean they put you in an apartment and they?
At 19, I had representation that was hip pocketing me, which means that there was an agency, Iris Burton agency. She's no longer with us, but she hip pocketed me, and I started doing really well. I was getting callbacks by videotape from Minnesota. Videotape.
Really?
Yeah.
Back then, okay.
Back then, and that was before there was casting all over in the same way that it is now. And and they brought me out for a pilot season. So during my freshman year of college, I came out for a pilot season, and I booked 3 jobs, and they're like, you need to move here. And I was like, what? Yay, but what?
Yeah, it's one thing to say you want to do another thing. You're
like,
doing
what
it.
is it?
Yes,
I don't even
yes,
know,
exactly.
really.
What am I getting myself into?
Yeah, and the business is very different than obviously like doing a school theater
Of course,
play.
of course.
Doing a musical, you know.
Yeah. So how did those pilots go?
I did a guest star on. I'm sorry, it was like a co-star on Freaks and Geeks, on the actual first episode of Freaks and Geeks. And then I did this family movie in Romania, and I did a commercial. You know, so they were like, "You're booking. You need to like
Stay.
you need to
Okay.
make this transition."